Welcome to our exploration of Stoic wisdom in relationships. In today's video, we dive into how to identify fake people in your life. Have you ever felt that some people, even those closest to you, might be draining your energy, testing your patience, or steering you away from your true values? Stoicism teaches us to seek clarity and to align our relationships with our principles, drawing on the insights of Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. We'll reveal subtle signs and behaviors that signal when someone isn't truly in your corner. If you're ready to learn how to protect your inner peace and build authentic connections, stay tuned as we uncover the Stoic way to discern genuine allies from deceptive influences. One of the most enduring adages in Stoic thought is that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This idea isn't merely a catchy phrase, it speaks to the profound influence our close relationships have on our thoughts, actions, and overall character. When we surround ourselves with people who consistently embody virtues such as honesty, courage, and wisdom, we naturally begin to adopt these qualities. On the contrary, if those around us are deceptive, unreliable, or constantly negative, their influence can seep into our own lives, often without us even realizing it. I once found myself in a situation where a longtime friend, whom I had admired for years, began to exhibit behaviors that were at odds with the values I held dear. Initially, his charming personality and persuasive words masked his inconsistency. Over time, however, I began to notice that his promises were rarely kept, and his actions were frequently at odds with his words. The more I observed, the more I realized that his influence was subtly eroding my own sense of integrity. This realization was a turning point that led me to reassess the company I kept, and ultimately, to cultivate relationships that truly reflected the virtues I aspired to live by. At the core of identifying fake people lies an examination of consistency. The Stoics believed that a person's true character is revealed not by what they say, but by what they do. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, emphasized that our actions must align with our words. Any deviation is a sign of inauthenticity. In practice, this means paying close attention to those who frequently make promises but then fail to deliver, or who project an image of virtue while their behavior tells another story. Promises versus actions. Consider the person who always talks about supporting you during tough times, but when adversity strikes, disappears without a word. This disconnect between words and deeds is a powerful signal that their commitment is superficial. Surface charm versus deep values. Some people have a way with words, a smooth, charming manner that can easily win your trust. However, if their actions are consistently self-serving or manipulative, it's a sign that they may be more interested in personal gain than in fostering a genuine connection. Story spotlight. I once encountered a colleague named Andrew, whose charismatic personality made him the life of every gathering. He was quick to offer compliments and promises of support. However, when it came time to deliver on his assurances, he routinely fell short. Over months, I began to notice a pattern. His flashy words never translated into consistent actions. This inconsistency not only left me feeling let down, but also forced me to confront the uncomfortable truth that perhaps I was investing my trust in someone who wasn't fully committed to mutual growth. It was a hard lesson in recognizing that true integrity is measured by consistency, a lesson that ultimately led me to redefine my circle of influence. Stoic philosophy warns us against the subtle yet dangerous influence of relationships that do not support our journey toward virtue and inner peace. Let's examine a few common toxic traits that often characterize fake people in our lives. Many of us have experienced the frustration of dealing with someone who constantly makes grand promises, whether it's about future support, shared ventures, or personal loyalty, but whose actions consistently fall short. This kind of behavior is more than just a minor flaw. It is a sign of a lack of integrity. When promises are broken time and again, trust erodes, and the relationship becomes a source of doubt and insecurity. Insight from Stoicism. The Stoics believed that actions must reflect words. A person who habitually fails to follow through on commitments is not living in accordance with the virtues of honesty and reliability. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that our character is built on the foundation of consistency. To invest in relationships that are unstable is to invite chaos into your inner life. Another common trait of inauthentic people is the relentless need for external validation. These individuals often behave in ways that are designed to draw attention to themselves through exaggeration, drama, or manipulative flattery. While on the surface, their behavior might seem entertaining or even charming, the underlying motive is a deep-seated insecurity and a reliance on others' opinions to define their self-worth. A Stoic perspective, Epictetus taught that true peace comes from within, and that the pursuit of external validation only leads to volatility and distraction. When someone is obsessed with being the center of attention, they are less likely to engage in meaningful, reciprocal relationships. Their behavior often disrupts the balance of genuine connections and can create an atmosphere of superficiality and competition. Personal example. I once observed a friend, whom I'll call Mia, who was renowned for her dramatic flair at every social event. She was always quick with compliments, and even quicker to shift the focus onto herself. While her exuberance initially drew people in, over time, it became clear that her need for attention was undermining her authenticity. Friends began to distance themselves, and the conversations started to feel forced and insincere. Mia's journey was a powerful reminder that genuine self-worth must be cultivated internally, not through the fleeting applause of others. Gossip is often dismissed as harmless chatter, but when it becomes a habitual way of interacting, it reveals a darker aspect of human nature. In the realm of Stoic philosophy, engaging in gossip is antithetical to the pursuit of wisdom and virtue. When someone habitually spreads unverified or salacious information, they not only damage the reputations of others, but also compromise the trust that forms the basis of healthy relationships. What the Stoics say, Marcus Aurelius and Seneca both warned against the corrosive effects of gossip. They saw it as a misuse of our capacity for reason and a distraction from our pursuit of truth and self-improvement. Instead of engaging in idle chatter, the Stoic approach is to focus on meaningful conversations that promote understanding, empathy, and growth. Reflective story. I remember a time when I was part of a close-knit work group that began to fall apart due to persistent gossip. Rumors and unfounded criticism started to spread, and soon the atmosphere became one of suspicion and fear. It wasn't long before I realized that the energy once dedicated to collaboration was being wasted on negativity and backstabbing. I took it upon myself to steer conversations toward more constructive topics and gently reminded colleagues of the importance of trust and integrity. Over time, the group slowly regained its focus, and we learned that fostering an environment of open, honest communication was essential for both personal and collective growth. Honesty is one of the cornerstones of Stoic ethics. When someone consistently distorts the truth, even in small ways, it undermines the very foundation of trust. The Stoics believed that the truth is not just a moral choice, but a practical necessity for living a coherent and meaningful life. A person who habitually lies disrupts the integrity of any relationship and forces those around them to question everything they say. The Stoic lesson, Marcus Aurelius, emphasized that our words and actions must be in harmony. When lies become a pattern, they create a dissonance that not only harms the liar's character, but also infects the social fabric of those who remain close to them. It's a stark reminder that authenticity and transparency are invaluable virtues that we must nurture in our lives. Envy and jealousy are emotions that can cloud judgment and poison relationships. When someone is consumed by these feelings, they may act in ways that are subtly destructive, criticizing others, minimizing their achievements, or even engaging in passive-aggressive behavior. Such attitudes not only diminish the potential for genuine connection, but also reflect an internal scarcity that is at odds with the Stoic pursuit of contentment and self-sufficiency. Stoic wisdom on envy. The Stoics taught that true happiness comes from within, and that comparing oneself to others is a surefire way to invite dissatisfaction. When you surround yourself with people who are plagued by envy, you risk absorbing that negativity into your own life. Instead, the wise person seeks to celebrate the success of others while remaining firmly anchored in their own values and progress. Given the many pitfalls of inauthentic relationships, what can you do to ensure that your social circle is filled with those who genuinely support your growth? Here are some practical steps grounded in Stoic philosophy. Take time to reflect on how your relationships affect you. Ask yourself, do I feel energized and uplifted after spending time with this person? Or do I feel drained and anxious? Are their actions consistent with the promises they make? Do they encourage you to be your best self? Or do they undermine your confidence? By honestly answering these questions, you can begin to discern which relationships add value to your life. Strive to build connections with individuals whose actions align with their words. Authentic relationships are founded on reliability and honesty. Make it a habit to observe how people respond during both good times and challenging moments. Over time, you'll notice patterns that reveal true character. It's important to protect your emotional well-being by setting boundaries. You don't have to sever every connection that feels off, but you can limit your exposure to those who consistently disrupt your inner peace. By being clear about your values and the standards you hold for your relationships, you not only protect yourself, but also signal to others the type of person you are. The journey to identifying fake people starts with understanding yourself. Engage in practices like meditation, journaling, or quiet reflection to deepen your self-awareness. When you are clear about your own values and aspirations, you become less susceptible to the influence of those who do not share your vision. Seek out relationships that challenge you to grow, those where you can offer and receive honest feedback. Authentic connections are characterized by mutual support and a shared commitment to personal development. In these relationships, both parties celebrate successes together and learn from setbacks without judgment. When you encounter dishonesty, try to understand its root cause. Sometimes people lie out of fear or insecurity. While this doesn't excuse the behavior, approaching the situation with a calm, rational mindset, as the Stoics advise, can help you decide whether to offer constructive feedback or distance yourself for your own well-being. To illustrate these points, here are a few stories from everyday life that demonstrate how Stoic insights can help us navigate complex relationships. A few years ago, I worked with two colleagues. Let's call them Alex and Jordan. Alex was known for his reliability. He always followed through on his promises and was genuinely supportive. Jordan, on the other hand, was charismatic and charming, but had a habit of making grand promises that he never fulfilled. Over time, it became clear that while Alex's consistent actions built a foundation of trust, Jordan's unreliable behavior began to undermine team morale. Reflecting on these experiences, I realized that the quality of our work and our well-being depended greatly on the authenticity of our relationships. Choosing to align more with Alex's steady example, I learned that consistency and integrity are the bedrock of lasting connections. I once encountered a friend, let's call her Mia, who was known for her excessive flattery. Initially, her compliments made everyone around her feel good. However, as time went on, it became apparent that her praise was often a tool for manipulation. She used flattery to gain favors and to steer conversations in her favor, rather than to genuinely celebrate others' achievements. Recognizing this pattern, I began to gently question her intentions during our interactions. Through open, honest dialogue, I discovered that Mia's behavior stemmed from deep-seated insecurities. While I chose not to cut her off entirely, I set clear boundaries and focused on fostering relationships built on mutual respect and sincerity. This experience taught me the importance of not allowing manipulative behavior to compromise my own values. In another instance, I witnessed how gossip can quietly corrode a social circle. A friend of mine, Sarah, found herself constantly embroiled in office gossip. At first, she thought sharing tidbits about colleagues would endear her to others, but soon the negativity began to affect her mood and her reputation. Realizing the harm that gossip was causing, Sarah decided to change her approach. She started redirecting conversations toward constructive topics and made a conscious effort to speak only about matters that contributed positively to the group's well-being. Over time, not only did her own outlook improve, but she also became a catalyst for a more supportive and respectful work environment. Sarah's transformation is a powerful reminder that the quality of our communication is essential to cultivating trust and authenticity. Jealousy is a subtle poison that can infiltrate even the strongest relationships. I remember a time when I struggled with feelings of envy towards a close friend's career success. Instead of allowing those negative emotions to fester, I took a step back and reflected on my own journey. I realized that comparing my path to hers was not only unfair but also counterproductive. By focusing on my own growth and celebrating her achievements, I found that I could transform envy into genuine admiration. This shift not only improved our relationship, but also reinforced my commitment to living in alignment with my own values, a lesson deeply rooted in Stoic thought. Authenticity over appearance. True connections are built on consistent, reliable actions, not just on charming words or surface-level interactions. The Stoics remind us that integrity is revealed through what we do, not merely what we say. Guard your inner circle. Your social environment profoundly impacts your character and your life's trajectory. Be mindful of the energy you allow into your life by surrounding yourself with those who embody virtues like honesty, wisdom, and courage. Evaluate actions, not promises. Look beyond promises and superficial assurances. Observe whether people follow through on their commitments. Consistency is a key indicator of genuine character. Avoid the toxic traps of attention-seeking and manipulative flattery. Beware of those who seek validation through superficial means. Their need for constant external approval can disrupt your inner peace and derail your focus on personal growth. Nurture relationships that foster mutual growth. Seek out connections that challenge you to be your best self and that encourage a two-way exchange of support and integrity. Authentic relationships are reciprocal and built on a foundation of mutual respect. Embrace self-awareness. Reflect on your own behavior and ensure that you too are living in accordance with your values. The journey to authentic relationships starts with being true to yourself. Transform negative influences. When you encounter behaviors such as chronic lying, gossip, or jealousy, address them with a calm, rational mindset. Sometimes, this may mean setting boundaries or even distancing yourself from those who consistently compromise your peace of mind. Thank you for joining me on this exploration into identifying fake people and nurturing authentic connections. The Stoic wisdom we've discussed today teaches us that our relationships are not just incidental, they are integral to the cultivation of our character and the realization of our highest potential. By discerning who truly supports your growth and who detracts from your journey, you not only protect your inner peace, but also set the stage for a life rich in virtue, resilience, and fulfillment. Remember, you have the power to choose your circle wisely. Surround yourself with individuals whose actions consistently reflect the values you cherish, those who are honest, reliable, and genuinely invested in your well-being. As you build these connections, let your own behavior be a beacon of integrity and authenticity, inspiring others to rise to the same standard. If today's insights have sparked a desire within you to reassess your relationships and commit to a life guided by truth and virtue, I invite you to continue this journey with our next video. There, we will delve even deeper into practical Stoic strategies for building resilience, navigating adversity, and further refining the art of living in alignment with your highest values. Click on the next video now to continue exploring the path of wisdom and self-mastery. Stay grounded, stay true to yourself, and remember, in the quest for authentic relationships, quality always triumphs over quantity.